Welcome to the Wealthy Woman's Podcast, a podcast for high-achieving women who are great at making money but struggle to build wealth. You'll learn how to take control of your money, increase your net worth, and make more. Ladies, it's time to create a life with more money and more freedom. Let's dive in. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I hope you all are having a fabulous start to your fall. I know that the weather is changing, the leaves are changing, and we are heading into the holiday seasons, you all. So look out for some episodes regarding that, how to really be financially sane, should I say, during the holidays where you're not going to overspend and all of that. I have some cool episodes up my sleeves to help you really navigate the holidays so that you can enjoy them to the fullest without waking up on New Year's Day feeling regretful or even the day after Christmas, right? We want you to fully enjoy the holidays from start to finish, and I will be bringing you episodes that will help you with that. But for today, we're going to talk about the importance of following your dreams and allowing yourselves to dream again and to let your desires lead you. And speaking of desires, I know many of you have the desire to really take control of your money and build wealth. And I want to help you do that. And I can help you inside of my signature money coaching program called the Wealthy Woman's Academy. It is the solution for you if you are a woman who makes really good money, but you don't know where it goes. You are the person who looks like you have it all together on the outside, right? You may have the nice home, you dress nice, you drive nice, you are making the money, you're successful in your career, but on the inside, you know that your finances are kind of a hot mess. And there's no shame in that because so many of us were not taught about money and how to handle it. And when we were being taught, it was always from a place of stop buying shoes, stop doing this, coupon, quit buying your lattes and all of that. And of course, that's no fun. And so when we are constantly told what we can't do, then we rebel and we do nothing. And I want to be the one to tell you that you can build wealth and enjoy life at the same time. And the solution that I have for you inside of the Wealthy Woman's Academy is based on something you probably have never tried before. It's based on life coaching, which is all about understanding your psychology and behaviors with money so that you can not only solve the symptoms of overspending, too much debt, not enough savings, not enough investing, or even your income, but we will solve the root cause of the problems, which is always something that's going on inside of your brain. And a lot of times it comes from our environment, how we grew up, what we were taught about money, what we witnessed. So we are going to get to the root cause so that you can flourish and so that you can continue to build wealth year after year and not keep reverting back. I know so many of you have told me, hey, I save and then I spend it all, or I'll get out of debt and then I'll run my card back up, or I get a raise, but then I spend it all. I get a raise, I get a bonus, and then it's just gone. When I wasn't using the money before, I wasn't used to having the money before it, but when I got it, I just had the lifestyle creep come up on me and the money's gone. So you're never able to really take those leaps when you get those promotions and those raises. And so I want to help you inside of the Wealthy Woman's Academy. And for the foreseeable future, the way the Wealthy Woman's Academy works is like this. You're going to get 4 private one-to-one sessions with me so that we can get everything you need to know out in the open because you are unique. You are different from other people. So I want to give you private time with me so that we can set your financial goals, so that we can get clear on your values so that you can start spending money on those. And then also look at the things that are unique to you that are holding you back. So if it's overspending, if it's not knowing how to create a plan for your money, if it's following through with your plan, whatever it is, you're going to get all of what you need in the 4 weeks. Now, I know that many of you are going to need support beyond the 4 weeks. That is why you get the Wealthy Woman's Academy. You're going to get the guidance, the support, the accountability, and coaching that you need. You're going to get a full year of that inside of the academy in a group setting. So what will happen is every single month you'll get a schedule. So the people that are in it now, they will be getting a schedule today of when the classes or the sessions are going to be in November. And then you get to put those on your calendar and come to as many of them as you want. You don't have to come to all of them, but at the beginning, you probably do want to come to as many as possible and get that help, get that support, get that guidance, because you have been living like this for decades. And it's going to take time for you to implement all that you learn while we're working together in the 4 weeks so that you can really make it a part of who you are, so that you can become the kind of woman who is in control of her money, who knows where it's going, who takes care of her money, no matter how much it is, how much comes in or raises, you take care of all of it so that you can really build wealth, so that you can build generational wealth, but still enjoy life at the same time. So if this is something you desire, we're going to be talking about desires today. If you desire to be in control of your money, if you desire to have generational wealth, one of my clients said, I want to have a secret stash of money that my kids don't know anything about, that they will just inherit one day. If that is your desire, if you want to travel, if you want to just be able to send your kids to college debt free, whatever it is, those desires are good desires and the way is already made. And I want you to know that the Wealthy Woman's Academy and me as your coach, I can help you. We can make this happen, right? And I would love to support you on that journey. So if this is something you want to do, if this sounds like just the thing you need, then go to the show notes and book your interest call. Let's have a conversation. I love talking to you all. I love showing you a different way. I love showing you a different perspective, because I believe if you have the desire to want to build wealth, to want to take control of your money, that it is 100% possible for you. And I would love to be your guide, to be your coach, to be the person supporting you and cheering you on the entire way. Okay, so now let's get into our episode for this week. Okay, so we're talking about the power of allowing yourself to dream and desire, to start dreaming again. And I'm going to give you 5 ways that you can start really creating the life you want, but it's going to start with you allowing yourself to dream and desire again. So many of us grew up dreaming. All of us did. We grew up anticipating what was next. We had great imaginations. And when you really think about when we were born, that first year of life, we grew so much, right? We went from being an infant to many of us were walking within a whole year. That meant we grew. We gained enough strength to walk. And then from there, we looked forward to going to school, kindergarten and elementary school. And then from there, we looked forward to going to middle school and becoming a teenager. And then to high school, where we got our driver's license. We went to prom, graduated, and went off to college. Many of us chose to go off to college. And from there, we graduated and we landed the job, right? Many of us are in our careers. We're doing amazing things. And then maybe you've climbed the ladder and then maybe had a family, got married, had children. But then things just stop and we began to live life on rinse and repeat, many of us. Our lives have begun to look the same year to year, decade to decade. And I want you to know that we as human beings were never created to be stagnant. We were created to grow, to evolve, and to always be becoming that next highest version of ourselves. Even if you look out at nature, nothing stays the same. Things grow. We have seasons. There's always change happening, and our lives should be the same. And so many of you are feeling stagnant. You're feeling stuck. You're feeling like, what else is there? You're feeling a little bored. And I want to offer that maybe it's because you're not dreaming and listening to your desires and going after the desires of your heart. So now I'm going to give you 5 ways to really start creating the life you want. And it's going to begin with you dreaming and listening to your desires. And in order to do that, you have to know this number one thing. You are 100% worthy and capable of creating anything you truly desire. If you desire something, the way is already made. Oprah has this quote that I absolutely love. It says, anything that is possible for you. Anything that is possible for a human being is possible for you because you are a human being. So if you have the desire to have a certain level of net worth, if you want a certain level of income, or if you have business goals, maybe you want to start a business, or maybe you want to take your business to the next level, maybe you want to get promoted or take on a dream job, whatever your desires are, you have what it takes on the inside to make it happen. And here's what I really want you to know, that you don't need to know exactly how to do it today. All you have to do is take the first step and then the next step. And every time you take a step, the way is being made for you. You're learning and you're making decisions on, okay, this needs to be my next move. So don't let not knowing how to do something prevent you from starting, because I truly believe if you have a desire in your heart, then you know the first step to take. So for instance, if you're like, I know I want to take control of my money. I know I want to be a millionaire one day. I know I want to be wealthy. Well, your first step may be to join me inside of the Wealthy Women's Academy. So all of us know that first step. If you want a promotion, you know the first step. Have a conversation with the hiring manager or your manager so that they can put a good word in for you. If you want to start a business, what's the first thing you can do? Maybe it's start researching. Maybe it's just to make some offers to people and say, hey, I'm in business. It could be that simple. Do you want to buy something? Whatever it is, I truly believe if you dig into yourself, if you get within, and you will know the first step to take. And you don't even have to dig far. It's like we often know what to do, but we allow fear and the fact that we don't think we can do it stop us. But I want you to know, if you have the desire, the way is already made, and all you need to do is take the first step. Okay? So number 2, give yourself permission to start dreaming again. We talked about this at the beginning, right? When we were younger, we were always looking forward to the next thing. We did it all the time. We imagined, we played house, we played business, we played all the games that we wanted to play to pretend that we were that person that we really wanted to be. And I want you to know that you can do this now. You can imagine yourself in that position that you want to be in. It's okay. We have imagination. We're the only species that can imagine something in our brain. So I want you to know that God is friendly towards your righteous desires. So righteous desires to me are just those desires that will not hurt or take away anything from anyone else, right? So those are what righteous desires are. And I am a Christian and I read the Bible, and there is a scripture that says, He will give you the desires of your heart. And that's Psalms 37:4. So if you have a desire, God is friendly towards them. He will give you the desires of your heart. So why not start taking action steps so that you can make those things happen for you? And the Bible also says that faith without works is dead. So you have to take those steps in order for your desires and your dreams to come to pass. They're not going to happen with you just sitting down and waiting for things to change. You have to get into motion. You have to step outside your comfort zone. You have to be willing to put yourself in an uncomfortable position sometimes so that you can get somewhere different. And now when I talk about getting uncomfortable, I know some of us don't want to do that, but I heard a quote. I can't even remember who said it, but it said, everything you ever wanted is right outside your comfort zone. So I'm not asking you to go out into the zone of panic. I'm just saying, just take a few steps outside of your comfort zone. It's still safe there. It may not be as comfortable, but it's still safe. okay? And I want you to know that your righteous desires benefit you and others, and they make the world a better place. You are not selfish or greedy just because you have desires and dreams. I remember that I used to feel that way because honestly, I feel like my entire career, I've been tremendously successful. I've made great money. And then when I started to desire to make more, I felt like I was being greedy. I felt like I was asking for too much, but that was not true. It was just that inner being in me wanting more, wanting to grow, wanting to evolve. Because in order for me to make more, I have to do something different. I have to become something different. I have to grow. I have to be willing to try new things, right? And that is part of growing. That is a part of evolving and becoming that next highest version of yourself. And I want you to know that wealthy people, if your desire is more money, that wealthy people can be way more helpful when it comes to providing resources than people who are just getting by or than people who just have enough for them and their family. So it is good if you have financial goals and dreams and desires. That is good because it's not only good for you and your family that you can enjoy a nice, abundant, fun-filled life, but you could also use some of those resources to help others if you want to. Now, I don't believe that when you make a lot of money, you need to give all of it away. That's not what I'm saying. But I do want you to know that sometimes our primitive brain wants to keep us in our comfort zone. And when we do have the desire to want to make more money, the first thing it wants to say is, hey, stop being greedy. You should be grateful for what you have. But I want you to know that you can be so grateful for what you have and still want more. And that more can be for you and your family, but also for others. Because that is how the world goes around. Like human beings help other human beings. And when you have plenty of money, when you have wealth, you can be such a big blessing to so many people in the world. So give yourself permission to start dreaming again. It's not only going to affect you and your family, but it can affect the world, right? When you think about somebody like Steve Jobs, who created the iPhone, he had a dream about creating an iPhone, literally a computer in your pocket. And of course that would benefit him and his family financially. And I mean, all the fame and all of the things that it came with it. But look what it did for the world. It put all of us in a different position. So when you go after your desires that are good and righteous, you also help others around you. You make the world a better place. Number 3, don't look to the past to determine what you want. I want you to look within to determine what you want. Some of us are afraid to dream. So we just look to the past and say, okay, last year I made this much. So this year I want to make a little bit more. Or last year I was able to do this. So this year I can just grow just a hair. But I want you to not look to the past at all to determine what you're going to want or what you desire. I want you to just go within and just let the dreams be free. So many of us are afraid to set ourselves up for disappointment. So we place limits on our dreams. So we dream just in tiny increments. Our goals and dreams are just a little bit more of what we've done in the past. And I want to offer that we don't have to be afraid of disappointment. And actually, we are setting ourselves up for disappointment by not going for our dreams. So it's like we're choosing disappointment ahead of time. So you have these dreams and desires and you won't go for them. So of course you're feeling disappointed. Some of you mask it, and that's why you do some things like overspending and all of that to mask that disappointment for not going for what you really want. You're just choosing it ahead of time versus putting yourself out there and being willing to grow and learn. And if you get disappointed, and let me tell you, you probably will if you put yourself out there, but you get to learn from those moments. You get to learn and then try again. It's just like when a toddler begins to walk. The first couple times they take a step and then they fall, but they get right back up. They take a step, then they fall. And I'm sure they feel a little disappointed, maybe a little bit of embarrassment, maybe, I don't know, but they keep going, and that will be you as well. So it's like, let's not let the fear of disappointment stop us, because the truth is disappointment is just an emotion that we create with our thinking. But if you just decide, like, I am willing to try things and it not work, and me to try again and it not work, and me to try again until I finally get it. Now that is growth. That is becoming the next highest version of yourself. And I want to offer that we stop looking to the past to determine what's possible for us and what we're capable of, and to start dreaming again and allowing our desires to be our guiding light to determine what we can create, right? And remember, in order to do this, we have to let go of our fear of disappointment, because ironically, we're choosing disappointment ahead of time if we settle and don't go for what we truly desire and what we truly want. Okay, now let's go on to point number 4. So number 4 is be future focused. Now, this is the exact opposite of being past focused. So instead of looking to the past, for example, looking to see what you've done or what others have done, you let your desires drive what you'll set out to accomplish in the future. So for instance, let's say you went to school and you are trained as a teacher. Instead of looking back to say, oh my gosh, teachers typically make about this much, so I'm going to go for that or a little bit more, you can say, I want to just break the mold around what teachers make. And I'll give you an example of this. So there was a teacher, I think she was from New York, and she was super, super good at helping, I want to say, third graders really learn how to read. So much so that all the parents in the school got wind of it and everyone wanted their child in her classroom. And of course, that wasn't possible. So she decided to train the other third grade teachers in her school to teach the way she taught. And it worked. So not only was she able to teach those third graders in that way, but she taught other teachers how to do it. And so she was like, okay, I think I'm on to something here. So she went online and she started to create videos and help other teachers across the state, and teachers across the nation would buy her videos because it was effective and they were getting success. So she decided that she was going to create a membership where teachers from across the country could join in on her membership, and every single month she would create lesson plans that they could use to help their third graders learn how to read. And it caught on, and this teacher is now a multimillionaire. All because she was future focused. She didn't look to the past to determine what she was going to create. She was innovative. She let herself dream. She let herself desire. And I'm sure her brain, her primitive brain, tried to stop her many times. Her primitive brain probably was telling her, who do you think you are? This is never going to work. Teachers don't make that much. All of the things. But she did not let that stop her, and she was very future focused, and she did her thing, and now she is a multimillionaire. So this could also show up just in how you grew up. So you may have the thought, my family always struggled with money, right? That's being very past focused, but you can just decide, okay, I'm drawing a line in the sand and I'm going to be wealthy. I'm going to be in control of my money. I am no longer going to live paycheck to paycheck with all this money that I'm making. I'm no longer going to spend everything I make and be living paycheck to paycheck. I'm not going to have this stress in my life anymore around money. You get to decide what the future is going to be like for you. And so instead of looking to the past to say, oh, I've always overspent, I've never been good with money, I have too much debt, I've got too much debt that I went into in the past. Let's let the past be and let's learn from it. But we do not have to carry those mistakes into our future. Our future is unwritten. It is yours for the taking. And so allow yourself to be future focused and not bring any of the negativity from the past. We can take all the lessons, we can learn, but we don't have to take those experiences that didn't serve us into our future. And the last little example I'll give you is like, if you think I've never made more than this amount of money, like maybe it's 100K. I never made more than 100K. I don't know if it's possible for me. That's being past focused. Thinking that I never made is very much so past focused. Just allow yourself to dream. You do not need to know how you're going to get there. If you want to make $200,000 a year or $300,000 a year, let that desire live in your heart. Don't try to smother it. Don't try to bring the past into your future, because guess what? You get to be grateful for whatever amount of money you make right now and whatever you made in the past, and still want more, and still want to grow, and still want to evolve, and still want to become that next highest version of yourself. Like, all of it is possible. Number 5 is embrace the 100-year possibility. So I was listening to a podcast or some sort of interview, and the lady, actually it was a coaching session. So I'm a life coach. So I listen to a lot of coaching sessions. I'm a part of different programs, group coaching programs. And I love listening to other people get coached, because not only does it help me, but it helps me help my clients as well. So the lady started off by saying, I have a plan to live to 100. And I just loved hearing that. Like, this is my plan. My plan is to live to 100. And she was like in her 60s. So that meant she had 40 years of life available to her to create whatever she wanted. And I want you to know that you can embrace that same mentality. One of my good friends, her mother-in-law had an 80th birthday party. And guess what? Her 99-year-old mother was there to celebrate with her. And her 99-year-old mother lives alone in a 2-story house, and the bathroom is on the 2nd floor. And she is in amazing health. So it is 100% possible for you to live to age 100 and beyond these days. Actually, my great-grandmother lived to 100, and her brother is 101. So this is possible, my friend. And they all were in great health. Like, they're doing amazing. So my uncle, so this is like my great uncle, I believe, he walks. He's not on a walker or anything. He walks on his own. I think he has a cane, but that's it. So it is 100% possible for you to have a long time left on this earth. I'm telling you this because so many people think that they're too old to start something new. They're too old to start dreaming again. They're too old to change their lives. So they don't. And I want you to know that the only reason why they are not changing their lives is because they think they can't, because they think they're too old. Our thoughts literally create our lives. And so I want you to be open to embracing the 100-year possibility. So if you're listening to me and you're in your 40s, that means you could have 60 years left if you're 40 years old. If you're 45, you could have 55 years, more time than you've been alive left to create the life you want. The future is unwritten. It is yours for the taking. If you have that much time left, what are you going to create? Are you going to create from the past? Are you going to keep creating the same life over and over again? Or are you going to let your desires and your dreams drive you to create a life that you really want? A life that's full of possibility, a life that's full of fun, a life that's full of money and wealth and generosity. Like, it's all available to you. And so I invite you to plan to live to a 100. And from that space, be future focused and let your dreams and your desires guide you, and not be past focused. Yes, bring those lessons, bring those learnings, but from there, let the past be in the past and be future focused. I hope this episode was helpful for you, and I will see you next week or on one of those interest calls to join the Wealthy Woman's Academy, because there is no better time than now to get your money right so that you can start creating the life you truly desire. See you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, before you go, if you're ready to create a life with more money and more freedom, then you're invited to join the Wealthy Woman's Academy, my signature coaching program where you'll learn how to take control of your money and build wealth without sacrificing your lifestyle. To To get started, head on over to jermainefoley.com/WWA. That's Jermaine with a G. See you over there. Bye-bye.